Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America. And you know, it's not often these days that the Supreme Court's in agreement on anything. But on one very particular thing, they seem to be in radical agreement, and I mean unanimously, and liberals are not going to be happy at all. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. And if you're not watching us on YouTube, please visit that address in the lower right-hand corner. It's youtube.com/@ExplainAmerica. And hit subscribe absolutely free. It really helps us out. The Supreme Court got a case of a woman who said she was passed over for a promotion. Now, what she says is she got a boss who happened to be a homosexual woman. And this wasn't her boss all along. It was a new boss. And then down the line, she got passed over by a promotion, and that promotion was given to a fellow homosexual who did not have the experience or qualifications. She went to court and she faced the lower courts, and the lower court said, no, you can't sue because, now get ready for this, you're not part of a marginalized group, and as a straight white person, the bar for you to prove discrimination is far higher. So she kept fighting, she kept appealing, and now the Supreme Court has it. And all 9 justices, including the 3 liberals, basically said when they were questioning, hearing the arguments on this, why should straight white people have a higher bar for discrimination than anybody else? It doesn't make any sense. That's not equality. And it looks like it's going to get struck down. It looks like that rule is going to be basically wiped out of the courts. So discrimination is discrimination for everybody. And that's how it always should have been. It's ridiculous that one group's bar is lower or higher than another's. You shouldn't discriminate, period. Meritocracy. People should get promoted based on merit. Period. End of story. I want you to watch this video on it and let me know what you think in the comments.
So what type of case could cause oral arguments at the Supreme Court to actually wrap up 5 minutes early? Apparently one involving reverse discrimination. The justice is hearing the case of Marlene Ames today. She is a straight white woman. She says she received 2 promotions while at Ohio's Department of Youth Services, but then in 2017, she says she started working for a gay boss. And 2 years later, Ames says she was passed over for promotion, which she says unfairly went to a gay person. So she sued. The lower courts, they threw out her case, saying there is a higher legal bar for workers in majority groups, like straight white people. It's now in front of the Supreme Court justices. And at oral arguments today, virtually all the justices seem skeptical that there should be a higher bar for, quote unquote, reverse discrimination cases.
It applies the same to everybody.
Well, we agree that the court should say that at the very, very minimum.
But we're in radical agreement today on that, it seems to me.
Joining me now to discuss this radical agreement, senior legal analyst and former federal prosecutor Elliot Williams. Also, Ian Millhiser, senior correspondent at Vox, focusing on the Supreme Court and the Constitution. Elliot, I'll begin with you. I mean, the idea of radical agreement, what's the likelihood these justices side with the plaintiff in this case?
Exceptionally high. Now, that doesn't mean she wins the whole case. It would get sent back down for new findings in light of this new standard. Now, again, what the Supreme Court, or not even the Supreme Court, 5 circuits around the country have law that essentially requires plaintiffs who are from majority groups, white people or heterosexuals or whatever else, to in effect make additional findings in order to move forward with a discrimination suit. That that just didn't sit well with the justices. Even acknowledging this idea that, yes, people in minority groups may have suffered more, putting an additional burden on white people or straight people or whatever else just doesn't seem to make sense. And you could hear it through all 9 of the justices in their questioning today.
Ian, there was a phrase that was often used. It was background circumstances. This was a rule. Explain what that is exactly, and how does that